Julia from Behind on Books, and today I'm going to talk to you about Christmas in some classic books. So I could have picked books that were more obvious, like Charles Dickens very famously writes about Christmas, especially in A Christmas Carol, but often I think Christmas is overlooked in books even though it means a lot to people, and I think some of it is because of history. I mean, Christmas has become a big sorry, I've got a dog here. Christmas has become a very commercial thing, and it's a lot bigger than what it used to mean. But I think it's really interesting to look at what actually happens to some characters around Christmas. So the first book that I chose to look at was Wuthering Heights. Alfie, come here. Lie down. Lie down. The first book I decided to look at was Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And chapter 7 starts with, Cathy stayed at Thrushcross Grange 5 weeks till Christmas. If anyone's read Wuthering Heights, you'll know that it's not a particularly nice book. Nothing nice seems to happen to anybody, and everybody is a bit of an ass to everybody else. So it's quite expected that it's not going to be the happiest homecoming. I mean, Catherine's happy enough. She's just spent just over a month at the Lintons. So of course it's Heathcliff that takes the brunt of everyone's ire and distaste and displeasure. And the Lintons have agreed to come to Thrushcross Grange for Christmas as long as the dirty little savage boy is nowhere to be seen. So Christmas isn't necessarily a happy time for the characters in Wuthering Heights. The other book that I thought I'd try and find Christmas in was Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. So Christmas comes in chapter 25, it's part of volume 2, and it marks the arrival of the gardeners. So this is the point where, not long after Elizabeth Bennet goes off with her aunt, and experiences like travelling and all the nice countryside stuff, and ends up at Pemberley. But Christmas, it's a passing mention, but of course it's more about Mrs. Bennet and her exasperation that she has all these daughters that she needs to marry off. So the first part of Mrs. Gardiner's business on her arrival was to distribute her presents and describe the newest fashions. When this was done, she had a less active part to play. It became her turn to listen. Mrs. Bennet had many grievances to relate and much to complain of. Doesn't she always? So it's a fairly short section in the book, and basically Christmas just seems to pass over like almost every other day for Mrs. Bennet. Finally, I chose to look at Wind in the Willows. I've only got my e-copy. I can't find my physical copy anywhere. But I remember there being a scene, it was a wintry scene, and doesn't explicitly say it's Christmas, but you get that feeling. I mean, it says it's mid-December, and some of the characters are on their way, or trying to find their way back home. And it's Mole and Rat, and let me just find the part I'm looking for. This is how prepared I am. So they've wandered into a village. They know it's going to be safe for them to walk through where other people are going to be because of the time of year, and it's snowy and it's cold and everyone's going to be inside. So they decide to have a look through some of the windows. Moving at will from one theatre to another, the two spectators, so far from home themselves, had something of wistfulness in their eyes as they watched a cat being stroked, a sleepy child picked up and huddled off to bed, or a tired man stretch and knock out his pipe on the end of a smouldering log. but their homesickness is just kind of brought to the front by the fact that they're looking at all these picturesque, family, close, warm moments, and they are still yet to find their home. Which I think is a little bit sad. I think all of these are a little bit sad, really, considering what the meaning of Christmas is to some people. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think there are some representations of Christmas that I should have chosen that are happier? Like I said, I'm trying to avoid the obvious ones. So we don't want Scrooge, because that is a Christmas story. So yeah, this is my Christmas video. I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas and a Merry New Year. And I will see you in January.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish